Good Tuesday morning, Mount Olive Church family and friends. Hope everybody's having a great start to the week and glad to have you with us for another week of devotions. And hope you got to be with us Sunday morning. If not, I hope you got to watch or listen online, and appreciate Pastor standing Sunday morning and letting the Lord use him. Another wonderful message. I want to start out here this Tuesday morning with a thank you to our church family. We had our pastor appreciation dinner Sunday night. Special, before I go any further, special thanks to Miss Pam King. She always does a phenomenal job with those things. And so many people, I won't get into naming everybody else, but so many people I know cooked and brought things and desserts and set up and done so much, helped us clean up last night. I appreciate each and every one of you. Our church family is special to us, and it is a privilege and an honor to do things for the Lord and serve for Him. But I really want to say thank you to our church family. We love you guys, and it thrills my heart to serve alongside with all of you all, and with Pastor TJ and Jason and Tommy. So devotion here. I hope you got Pastor TJ's devotion on Monday, and he talked about the ripples in the water and not being able to see the moon anymore. And the two little boys that were out there, and they were looking at the moonlight and throwed a stone out in the water. He talked about refocusing. I want to talk a little bit about refocusing as a challenge to you this morning. Won't be very long, but I want to ask you, what do you have in your life, right? What takes up the most time? And there's things in our life that takes up a lot of our time that's not necessarily sin, right? And those are things that we still have to be careful not let those get in front of God. We can't let things get so consumed in our life that it pulls us from our relationship with God, from our study time, from our prayer time, to our worship time, time in service, in our worship service, in our church when the doors are open, and being there. We got to be careful not to let those things pull at us as well. But what about the other things in our life? So Pastor talked about 3 points there. The second point he talked about the earthly life. And with that, he was doing contrast and conflict, right? And it's the second thing he put up there. And he used a couple different verses, and he talked about verse 5 and 6. And then he talked about verse 8. It's what I want to talk about here today. And that being the sinful part of our earthly life. So let's read this scripture here that Moses had in Psalms chapter 90, verse 8. It says, "Thou hast set our iniquities before thee, our secret sin in the light of thy countenance." So Moses and Pastor talked about this Sunday as he's seen these people, this generation that had passed away, and he's getting up in age. He'd done all these funerals, and he sees all this going on in his life. And then he realizes that when he's talking about this, that, nothing can be hid. We are really good, right? Raise our hands. I'll raise mine. We're really good at hiding sin. We are really good at hiding sin from other ones. We can, you can hide them from me. You can hide them from TJ, Jason, Tommy. You can hide them from your pastors. You can hide them from you can hide them from your wife. You can hide them from your husband. You can hide them from your children. You can hide them from your boss. You can do those things and keep things hid. But they are always before God, right? They are always before God. So my challenge with you, and I told you I was going to be a little short here, I want to ask you two things, and this is what I want you to focus on today. How much time are we wasting in this life in sin, right? Because we all do. If we want to be open and honest, we all, as long as we're on this side of eternity in this fleshly body, we are going to have sin in our lives. Not that we should. We should strive to be perfect. We should strive to be Christ-like. We should strive to never sin. But we do. But how much time are we wasting this life in sin and things that are pulling us away? And what am I spending time on today that will never satisfy? When he mentioned this Sunday, that was one of the things that stuck out to me most. What am I spending time on today that will never satisfy? You know, I go back and I love the story with the woman at the well. And I go back when I think of not being satisfied, I think of her and what she was drawing from. And, and God, Christ sits on the well and he says, as long as you keep coming here, you're going to be thirsty. And she just couldn't comprehend that. And you know what? Sometimes even as Christians, it seems like no matter how much we know the word, no matter how much we hear it, no matter how much we read it, we still don't comprehend that either, because we're constantly reaching out to things in this life that will never completely satisfy. We keep drawing from a stagnant well all the time. What is that you're drawing from today? What are you spending time on today that's leading you to sin? What are you spending time on today that will never satisfy? That's my devotion for you today. My challenge to you. Look and see what that is. Cut that loose and spend more time in your relationship with Christ. I love each and every one of you. I hope you have such a blessed week. I love all of you. Continue to pray for me. And as always, I'm praying for you. God bless.